I've been asked to give a keynote. Keynote is supposed to provide inspiration to people, and therefore I was thinking what to show, that you have ideas for new project and future development. Not necessarily talking about the stuff we do, but more about the stuff we play in the labs. So not finished products, but ideas and prototypes for where we think the things will go. Just imagine a world where we have something like Google Maps, but there is a timeline in the bottom, and you can just slide the time, and the map immediately changes. So you can interact with the map, zoom, and choose the time, and things change on the map. I believe this is the ultimate goal, and this prototype available at timemachineatlas.eu shows the development of Venice over the last 2,000 years, where you can pick a place, search for it, see the different rebuildings of a house, and compare two different time periods next to each other in a synchronized view. Have a look at additional raster data, so scanned maps. Have a look at modern map, and compare in an interactive environment the evolution of the place. Not only that, but also choose from something like All Maps Online any of the either like recent aerial imagery or a scanned map from different time periods from different institutions with correct attribution to the institution who provided that map, and get additional link data information to what you see. So if this is a cadastral map, there is a number, being able to see what this number means and from what time period this particular scanned map is and why it was created, so getting the historical context. And this not only in 2D as a view from above, but in 3D with ability to show the evolution. So here we see green buildings and red color for fire and green for a rebuilt place. With ability, of course, to work with the data the way that you show what is the name of the building in the original time and nowadays. So this is a prototype for what we've been asked by the people from Time Machine project to provide ideas for how the user interface of the future for exploring history should look like, and this is what we have developed for them in our labs and just pushed online. The technology is scalable, so if you have the data, if you are vectorizing the footprints of individual buildings in your town, in fact it's possible to do a prototype like this one for your small region, but the technology itself can be applied to the entire world. Because you can always display only the relevant information, and as you zoom in, the more detailed information can come. So it's possible technically to create this. And this is the first idea. Now, get inspired and think about it. And I will jump now to who we are. We are a small team in Switzerland. This is an image from a Swiss Alps sprint where people who are coding the software you use with your referencer were planning the next features and working in a cottage in the Alps on the future. This is 2 years old. Now we are 18. And I'm extremely glad for your support and your willingness to use what we create. And I can tell you it's amazing feeling to sit here and see how you are using it in different countries and see that the technology and ideas which were in fact originally my PhD thesis, are now applied and used by thousands of people in different countries. This is an amazing thing. So thank you very much for giving me this feeling, and I'm keen to give back and get more. And the team helps. It's all teamwork. It's not anymore me. That's why the company was founded. In fact, there is a little kangaroo on our logo. It's in fact the klokan is a Czech word for kangaroo. And it's my nickname from Scout Boys. So the story behind the name of the company is that when I was 8-year-old, we say in Czech that you jump over somebody else, vyskakuješ si, if you don't respect the authority of the leader. So as a small boy, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, and therefore I got a nickname Kangaroo. And this kangaroo then made it to the company name, and that's. It goes with me through the life, in fact, so still not respecting authorities. In last year, we had great feedback from very clever people on what to do with the company. One of the issues we really had was too many products. We had 22 different names. You see it in what we present here. It's georeferencer, old maps online, bounding box, map series tool. MapTiler desktop, there was cloud, style tile server, and we can continue. So too many brands. What has been suggested to us that we should split our directions into based on the user group, and this is what is now happening. Therefore, we have MapTiler and Old Maps Online as the two brands. MapTiler is all efforts and products which are related to modern maps, and Old Maps Online is everything related to cultural heritage. So what you will see in future is that georeferencer will become part of Old Maps Online. People will create user accounts in Old Maps Online instead of georeferencer. And bounding box also belongs to Old Maps Online. That's why I'm telling it, and I believe this is related to marketing and success of all the pilots. Because if you have a look at different georeferencer pilots, as we have seen the presentation yesterday, the difference between success and not as big success is very often in how you handle community. How you do press releases and communication around the crowdsourcing. And I believe that if we consolidate, if we join the efforts and give people who visit, for example, the Old Maps Online search engine a link, can you help on this new pilot in Belgium? Next week starts a new pilot in Scotland. Could you help there? These people who are keen on exploring the history and learning, doing personal development, who's looking at the old maps, they would be very keen to jump on the different pilots. And we are not using this power at all. It's related to different brands, different names, different communication. Naturally, if you work on georeferencer for your institution, you want your logo to be visible. So this is very important part of that. So I'm very keen to discuss with you in the workshop in the afternoon how to make it the way that how to share the community between the institution in an efficient way, and the clear communication of the brands, whether the institution or the tools, is an important part of that. I would like to say a few words about the MapTiler, because many people don't know here, and it's in fact how we make money, and the Old Maps Online is more a hobby, something close to heart, and working with old maps is a dream job. But it's hard to make money for a living and pay people to work on the technologies. So in MapTiler, in fact, it started 2 years ago as a problem that Old Maps Online is very popular service, and if we would use Google Maps right now, we would pay about $25,000 a year for the map, for the base map. So because Google Maps increased the price. And therefore, we started to work on an internal research for creating a global map, which looks like this. So you have a street map and topographic maps for hiking, satellite map, and all of this with the zoomable fluent technology which you see on Google Maps. But these maps are created by our team from open data, from OpenStreetMap, and you can style them the way you want, and in fact we released a big part of this effort as open source. So this is what was in the beginning of new MapTiler. The global maps were many, where we had a problem. We needed a base map for all maps online, which is affordable for us, which we can pay and sustain the All Maps Online project. So we started to work on that and then release this and give people and institutions to use. In fact, what has happened as well over the time is that if you, with many of the technologies which we have developed for old maps, and you saw them here, the National Library of Scotland layers are generated with MapTiler software, which was originally done in the Czech Republic for the Moravian Library for Comenian maps. And now the same technology, the same software, we found different applications. So now there are farmers looking at satellite data processed with MapTiler, and it gives them information about fertilization and lack of water in their fields. There are weather forecast maps. If you have a look at wetter.com in Germany here, Pro7 weather forecast, they use our background maps, and it's the technology which started on old maps. If you buy a train ticket in Switzerland from SBB, you will have a look at a map, which is MapTiler map, and it originated in old maps. Last year we have received a Space Oscar, they call it, prize from European Space Agency, the NASA of Europe, and this is because of application on satellite data. So the same technology which was used for color toning, historical faded colors of the scanned maps, is now used on petabytes of data to crunch satellite imagery delivered every day. So it's much bigger than one would think, that something that starts on old maps can have so many applications. And in this going from cultural heritage to space and beyond is pretty amazing experience as well for me to see how it can be applied. This is the example of the satellite map, which won the prize, where we have processed the open data satellite imagery with MapTiler software, the same MapTiler which creates ordnance survey historical layers, and combine this with aerial imagery, with color toning, which is applicable on old maps or developed for old maps, and you get a layer which people can get on a USB stick, entire planet. So that's the MapTiler. Over the last 2 years, pretty amazing ride for the company. If you need an alternative to Google Maps API, so if you are developing something where you need base maps, then have a look at MapTiler because you can save up to 80% of costs, and this was developed in fact for old maps. So you get APIs with for JavaScript, for developing of mobile applications, and that's what makes our living, in fact, now for the company. Still, I'm very keen to give back to the cultural heritage and move forward the projects related to the cultural heritage. That's the future of All Maps Online. I believe many of you know All Maps Online. Who does know All Maps Online? Okay, still some don't. Okay. Search engine for all maps. So basically, you pan around with the map, and it gives you on the right side most relevant maps filtered for the time, independently who owns the maps, who has it in the collection. So it's a gateway to deep web of the cultural heritage institutions who are publishing the maps online. Worth to try. In fact, All Maps Online choose the optimizations we did in the last 2 years on search engine optimization, so SEO optimization, something what we call geo-SEO, we have quadrupled the number of visits, so there is now over 200,000 a month people looking at the maps, and I believe many of the institutions see this increase in your Google Analytics, that we are sending people to your website. So for many of the institutions, the source from All Maps Online is in fact sometimes even bigger than from Google itself on that particular collections. And the reason is the hard work on search engine optimization, which is in itself very interesting technology, by the way. Like, imagine building a map for a blind person who just zooms. So you have to tell what you see on a map when you are looking at Google Maps. So if you are looking at the entire world, you see just continents, you see seas, and it tells you the words which you see on the map. But as you zoom to Europe, you see the Alps, you see the countries, you see the capitals. As you zoom in to one of the capital, you see the streets. So this approach with the link data and text which you tell people is what powers the number of visits on All Maps Online. I'm not sure if you get it without visuals, but it's pretty exciting. On All Maps Online, there is also a mobile app which you can use. So if the maps are georeferenced with georeferencer and we have enough information about the location, in fact you can download a free mobile app and explore the space the same way. So zoom on a map and you get one particular map. If the georeference is sufficient, you can click on this GPS control in the lower right corner and basically walk with the map of 18th century in the location where you are. And thanks to having this georeferencer data, this is possible. So people, if they see that georeference is not precise enough, they can log into georeferencer, fix it, and then as they walk, they will be more precisely located. Of course, with the ability to see the original website and original map. All of this is possible thanks to cultural heritage institutions. I mean, you own the maps, and we are keen to give you back the analytics and share whatever you need. And I'm very keen to again get feedback from you in the workshop. What will make your life easier and how to combine the effort together. That you benefit maximally and you are visible for when people are using the maps, that they know that it's from your institution. Becoming part of All Maps Online is easy and free. All what you have to do is supply a spreadsheet. It's all described at this URL. Basically what we need is latitude and longitude information for coverage of the map, so this geographic area highlighted with the red box. We made a tool which is very popular in library world, but also in archival world, where you can draw bounding box, and it gives you ready to use information for copy and paste into your cataloging interface in various formats, including Mark, RDA, and GeoGISM, and so on. If you have scans, there is the georeferencer. There were questions: what differs georeferencer from the other alternative tools which are georeferencing? And I have here a few really cool features which are unique to the platform. So and some of the features which are not as visible. And it would be good if you know, because people may ask. So georeferencer gives you a chance to assign the location already with 2 ground control points. So you can zoom in and click. There is the magnifying glass, which is quite unique. So you can in a high details adjust adjust the location by dragging outside of the magnifying glass, but you can drag also inside of the magnifying glass, which is at a different scale. So you are more precise if you are dragging inside of the magnifying glass. There are coordinates and different coordinates which can be supplied. So if you know the numbers, the coordinates in different coordinate systems, you can in fact, instead of visually georeferencing, visualize georeference choose providing coordinates. And really cool thing which is worldwide unique is the dynamic overlay. So as soon as you click 3 ground control points, you identify the same place on old and modern maps. We immediately recalculate inside of a web browser location and give you a chance by holding shift you turn on and off the overlay, and you can adjust the location and bam, immediately in the browser it's recalculated and fixed to the right position. This is a unique feature which allows you to make perfect overlays. And it's hard to do in S3, even in S3 tools and other GIS tools it takes time. We have it dynamic and in a web browser immediately. So a high quality set of ground control points is a unique feature. There is derived out of these tools. There is, of course, the review process. There are revisions. So we always know who created what, and if there is a malicious user, you can remove all his edits, and you can go back in time with the edits. And it's a collaborative tool, so multiple people can work on the same map in the same moment, same as if you work with Google Docs or spreadsheet. We included a transcribe prototype in the georeferencer, which is made or optimized for touch interfaces, and it means you can highlight on the map regions which are curved, so labels which would be hard to highlight with something like buttons. Because you can draw with a finger or a mouse the exact region of what is written on the map and type it for transcriptions and for search at later point. On the view, there are multiple views, as you know. We have seen that yesterday. Most of them can be shared, so you can send a link and can be embedded in other websites, so you can use these as widgets. Some of the institutions have used these also in the physical exhibition, so having a space, an exhibition where you invite people and showing this on a huge touch screen and letting people who visit the exhibit interact with these tools, either with the search or with one of the visualization tools. This globe is in fact open source, open source component which we have adjusted and released as open source again, and it's used quite heavily outside. And the image is IIIF. This means if the maps are inside of georeferencer, you are getting all the benefits of IIIF universe. So annotations tools like Recognito, which we will see, or another can be used on the maps which are inside of georeferencer. Also something what is not yet communicated very well from the tool itself, but it's a very big thing because it means the image is reusable in other tools without your need to submit the tips or something outside, but it's a service reusable in a set of other tools and meshable with other data by others. The compare tool. You saw it for bringing in multiple maps, so one more step on top of all maps online, where you can mesh the different things together and combine the maps, change transparency, stack them in an order you need, and share again what you see with others to tell the story you want. There are other tools which we have seen on the screenshots, like the grid synchronized view, where the maps are in fact not warped. Many of the old maps were designed as archival documents, and they were not made by the cartographer to be deformed. they should be looked at the way the cartographers designed them. So what is this view doing is that we warp the coordinate system, and if you are penning with an old map, we are showing you the right location on the old map. If you are penning with the modern map, we are showing you the right location on the old map without deforming the old map, which is quite important, or it's a use case which is in many cases very practical. There is the swipe tool, which you have seen, again, something that you can very basically put two maps in compare and then share with others, or put it in your blog post or in your website for one map, or tell the stories you want with writing text about the map and hitting this as some visualization. And a small little Easter egg: if you tap K key on the loop on the spyglass, the round thing will change to kangaroo logo. So you know it now. The system of georeference allows exports. That's also something what many people want, but it's not communicated as directly. Or we should work together with, if somebody asks, how can I use these maps which are in georeferencer? For the georeference maps from the cultural heritage institutions, now suddenly the entire world of GIS is open. This thanks to the map services. So if you any of the maps which are in georeferencer, you click on Give Me a Link to map services, and then you can open QGIS desktop or ArcGIS desktop tools, and just copy and paste the link you get from the georeferencer service, and click on Connect. People who are familiar with GIS tools will know this interface. So you basically get a link, and anybody can georeference the map, and then you load the map with the georeference done collaboratively in the web into your GIS tool like this. So this is directly included in georeferencer, and you can interact with the maps as with any other map in GIS without the need to download the tips and do a lot of stuff around it. This applies to the desktop tools. So QGIS, ArcGIS, or anything else would support WMTS standard, as well as to ArcGIS Online. So if your university or students or visitors are using S3 stack, it's compatible with that as well. So just copy and pasting the link to the map service from georeferencer into the S3 world will give you full compatibility, and people can use the storytelling tools and S3 stack and bring in your own map. And if they see something is wrong, that the map is wrongly georeferenced, they can log into georeferencer, fix the map, get a new link, and update it in their S3 desktop GIS. Next to that, there are of course other outputs like metadata enrichment. So we give you the spreadsheet with mark encoded of 34 fields, and geographic exports if you need them. The crowdsourcing support, we have seen quite a lot of that. So the random, the progress, all the tools you need for the crowdsourcing. But as mentioned in the beginning, what makes the pilot successful is the effort you put into working with the community on your side, and the press releases and the buzz you manage to create around the pilot. Part of the georeferencer, the standard offer is now also geographical search. So if you need something like Old Maps Online just for your collection with your maps and nothing else, this is the standard look and feel. You get it automatically. So every map which is georeferencer can be discovered with this interactive interface similar to Old Maps Online. And this is touch optimized, so it can be put on a huge screen in the institution, and it can be optimized with the CSS, so you can style it the way you can change the colors, change the text, change the logos, and so on. So make it yours and use it as you want. The same applies to customization of the tool itself. Optimization is another thing. There is a geo-editor tool embedded, which is very basic. Like if you need to collaboratively vectorize on top of map some data, it's one click in georeferencer now on this map. And we will probably work further on the tool. So you can draw, assign attributes, and work and create GeoJSON or GIS data on top of georeferenced maps. Next thing is OpenStreetMap, which will then lead to something similar like this map, thanks to the grant from Pelagios, which is a Roman map of the entire Europe. So you're looking at Europe from 350, I believe, with data from a Pelagios project, done together with the Lund University and with support from the team, with the vector tile technology, the same one we saw in the first slide. And thanks to vector tile technology, these maps can be styled in a different way. So this is the same map, just changed colors and font to give it more feeling. If you are keen to know more, have a look at Stanford speech. Googling this one will give you even longer presentation and thing about the relations of these tools. One more thing, I believe, and it is the last message. I believe augmented reality is the next step for what is going to be done with cultural heritage. And I have here iPad. If you have iOS devices, so iPhone or iPad with you, have a look at AR Globe, which is a first direction in augmented reality. What is happening now is that Google, Facebook, and other companies are working on the glasses which you put on, and they mesh the reality you have with additional data. So you are walking on a conference, you have a look at Marcy, and you see, oh, this is Marcy with name from, and all this information, just because you have her in the contact. You walk on the streets, and it shows you visually an arrow where you should turn. These sort of things are coming now. It's just a question of a couple of years, and we will all use it, either in a car with glasses or in another way. And this is an example of how it can be applied to cultural heritage. So send around the iPad. You basically can place a virtual globe which doesn't exist in reality in a space around you and interact with it. And if you walk inside, it turns from augmented reality into virtual reality. So you are sitting inside of the globe, looking around you and exploring the globe from inside. The thing is then multiple people may have similar devices and interact with the same globe. So you can walk all around the same globe, not in this moment, but in
put it in the middle. And I send it around. What comes with this technology is the human interaction with these virtual objects. So you can all walk around the same thing, which doesn't exist in reality, but it exists in the virtual world. And multiple people can then discuss and interact with the same thing as if it would be real. Yeah, we'll pass it around.
And this is just a prototype, of course, for having this in a way which is meaningful and which brings other value than just a toy which you play once with. It needs more thinking about the interaction of the humans. So having a game like, here is a globe, there are kids around, and jump and touch, who touches in the fastest way continent, which is for the first time on this map called America, win the point. So these sort of things makes it much more pleasant and gamify the interaction and make it attractive. That's what what makes it interesting. We did one more prototype in the labs that brings this same technology to any mobile device. So if you have Android, just get one of these leaflets there at the table, and if you open, there are instructions written on the leaflet. If you open this, you will see the map of Venice floating above this paper. Choose your mobile phone camera. Just use Safari or Chrome, please, or Firefox or another non-standard, like the standard browsers on the standard platform. So these leaflets are there. And those are just a few ideas for what we play with and how it may evolve. There are many more to discuss and think about what to do in future with the amazing data you have in your drawers and which you are presenting to the world. Thank you.